know there are some women out here who seizes the opportunity, but the Bible does say a man who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yep.
So let that man lead. Let that man be the one to say, I want you, I desire you. Let him pursue you. Don't go and pursue him. Let him pursue you. Even though in this world we see that women taking the lead, but let the man lead. Let him lead. It doesn't take away from who you are, or it doesn't take away from the boss in you. That it doesn't at all. It just shows a relationship and the roles that we have as a husband and as a wife. Let him want you, let him desire you, then you know he's fully invested.
All right, y'all, we back. So like we said in the last video, this is the next part of the series, Commitment and Marriage Bible Verse. So Diamond, the first chapter in the book is titled, What You Think Is Probably Wrong. So in line with what we're discussing, when you were younger, what was your idea of marriage and how did you form your opinion about marriage?
I formed my idea of marriage from experiences and family members and going to church. I was raised by my grandmother, then I was in two foster care homes, and then I was adopted. From all of those experiences, my grandmother was married but divorced. Then she was separated, and then my aunts were married, and unfortunately they had divorces. My uncles never married. My mother never married. My father was married. Let's see. So I had a lot of, I'm not even going into great detail, but I had a lot of examples of what marriage was or was not. I can't say that it formed my opinion about it, because I felt that for me, my opinion of marriage came from what I saw on TV and what I understood from learning in church.
Okay, so that's your background of your family. Now, as a young person, how about the friends that you had around you? How did they give you an opinion about what marriage was?
So in regards to my relationship with my friends, every girl's dream is to be married, to have this wonderful wedding, to have a husband and children and family. So I created that. But again, I felt like that was more from what I saw on TV, you know. And that for me, that was more so because my life was so inconsistent. Everything in my life was inconsistent. So TV has kind of like formed a lot of my opinions personally for me about ways that I see things. And then along with me going to church and understanding God, understanding the relationship with him and what marriage meant according to his purpose and his plans.
Okay.
So friends, I mean, we talked about it. But I would say they really didn't form my opinion, and they didn't talk me out of it, because again, every girl wants to be married. When I was growing up, nowadays some girls are like, yeah, no, I'm about me and self. So
okay, so you previously said that a lot of your understanding of what marriage was came from TV and other people. Now, how did that affect your opinion of marriage currently?
So from TV, it helped. So for me, because I didn't really see the union of marriage as much in real life, TV showed me that, you know, marriage that people do fuss. It did show me that in marriage you'll have disagreements. I would say that I kind of had a false thought that everything would be hunky-dory, and that if we have a problem, that all we had to do was just look at each other and say, babe, I love you, hug, and then that'll be it. So my idea that conflict resolution in a marriage was going to be resolved a little bit quicker, and that my idea about marriage for that was wrong. Sometimes it takes a little bit more talking and a little bit more understanding in order to get to a resolution, a little bit more sacrifice in order to say, I understand what you're saying, I don't agree, but I love you enough and we can work this. We're going to be able to work it out. I didn't really see that growing up. It was more so children are seen and not heard, and now and then you were also children were over here. They did the children things. You're not in grown folks conversation, so not really being able to see how it works for families. Or they'll say, don't you worry about it, things like that, which I understand, because as a child you don't need to be worried with grown folks business. But that also led me to TV being more so of an understanding from watching Family Matters or from watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Kind of helped me form my idea of what marriage is.
The last question. So in the chapter I bring out, therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. What does that mean to you?
In the Bible, one thing that I've always kept myself to in regards to finding my husband is that a man who finds a wife finds a good thing, and that he will obtain favor from the Lord. I believe that, and my husband found me. He pursued me. And for a man to where it states that the man leaves his family first, for me brings the understanding to me that it's first made up in the man's mind that he wants to make this new decision, that he wants to be married, that he wants to have a wife. So for me, I did not go seek after him. Okay, if anybody knows the story, it took my husband 2 years to get in my good graces. But he was persistent and he was committed and he showed himself approved. But from that scripture, it teaches me that the man has to, the man's focus and mind has to be that he wants to be married. And then he comes to be joined with me in order to be married. So, and then we become one flesh. Again, for me, I've been through a lot. I've been in different, I live with different people. So when I decided to become married, there is no other way. There is no other choice. Now this is me and you. God said we become one flesh. So I understood that my husband had to make the decision, because when we did find out we was having a baby, I didn't ask him, so are you going to marry me? I didn't ask him, will you marry me? I didn't even tell him I loved him first. I wanted everything that he said would to be from his heart. And I didn't want to imply anything, because I didn't want to be hurt, if I could be honest. So he told me he loved me first. He came to me and said, well, Diamond, we should get married. We talked to our pastor about it. So that scripture lets me know that the man is the one that's going to lead for me to be married. If he makes that decision, then that means he's ready for it. So, all right, let's do this.
Good answer. Good answer. Good answer. All right. Well, that's all I got. Anything else you want to say?
Be blessed. I know there are some women out here who seizes the opportunity, but the Bible does say a man who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yep.
So let that man lead. Let that man be the one to say, I want you. I desire you. Let him pursue you. Don't go and pursue him. Let him pursue you. Even though in this world we see that women taking the lead, but let the man lead. Let him lead. It doesn't take away from who you are, or it doesn't take away from the boss in you. That it doesn't at all. It just shows a relationship and the roles that we have as a husband and as a wife. Let him want you. Let him desire you. Then you know he's fully invested. So tune in, you all, to episode 2, part 4 of this series of commitment and marriage, with Bible verses, with his perspective and her perspective.